Okay, identifying graphs. So there are 3 examples I'm going to go through. And first one, we have a match each graph to its equation. So we got 6 examples in this question. Let's have a look at the first one. This one is definitely exponential curve. Now, if it's positive exponential, which means it has positive power, then it will start from the first quadrant down to the second. But if it's a negative power, it goes from second quadrant to the first. Now, we do have some equations that we need to choose from. So I'm going to put it up here. So we got capital A, B, C, D, E, F here, and we need to match up with little a, b, c, d, e, f. Now this is exponential. So which one has exponential? Well, it's obvious. This one, E, has exponential and also has a negative power. So that's definitely going to go from the second quadrant to the first. And it's also go through 1 when x equals 0. So when it's a power of 0, anything is a power of 0 is 1. So that's okay. And if you could just substitute -2 here, and you will get y value 25 using calculator. So I would say this is E. Okay. Now, part B is definitely cubic. And it's going from left to right. If it was a positive cubic, it would go to the right to the left, but it's a negative. And also y-intercept is 8, so it pushed up by 8. So let's have a look at which one has. I'm just going to cross this out because we already used up. So we got, where's a cubic? This one's easy actually. You only got one cubic equation here, it's f, and also it's a negative. So that means it's going to go from left to the right. So this one is f. And C is definitely parabola. And it's concave up, which means the coefficient of x squared is positive. And its vertices or x-intercept is negative. So let's have a look. I'm going to cross this out. Which one is parabola? D is parabola. And 2 is positive, so it's going to be concave up. And there's a minimum value, which is a y-intercept, is -3. So that looked like about -3 there. And that's what's matching up. So I'm going to put D here. Okay. Let's have a look at the next 3. So D is hyperbola. Now, if its hyperbola has positive hyperbola, it'll go from first quadrant and matching up, well, reflecting mirror image with third quadrant. But it's a negative, it'll be second and fourth. In here, which one is equation represent hyperbola? Yep, you're right, C. So I'm going to put C there. And E is definitely circle. Circle with a center is 0, 0, radius is 3. So this one will look like x squared plus, oops, can't write that, y squared equals 3 squared, which is 9. And which one of them is representing a circle? B. And the last one is a linear, which is straight line. It's y equals x, 2x minus 4, and it's a positive gradient. Goes to the right hand side, so its gradient is a positive. If it went to the left, it would be negative gradient. And also, what is it? Y-intercept is -4, which is that. So it's matched up perfectly. So I'm going to put A there. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Question 2. This is a little bit more, and it has all the examples that we need to match up with how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can't really see it, the last bits, but let's do, let me actually push it up and see if I can let you see the whole thing, hopefully. Okay, so I'll copy the examples of the equations so we can have a look. Now this one is a parabola, and that looks like about -1. So it's a concave up, and the minimum value is -1. So which one is actually parabola? That one parabola, that's parabola, that's parabola, that's parabola. Now which one is the concave up? That's concave down, because it's a negative. And this one is concave up, that's concave up, and that's concave up, but it's a minimum, a y-intercept is -1, about there. It's -4, -1, so I'm going to go with E. Okay. B, again, is concave up. The vertex, the y-intercept is 0. Okay, so that's easy. That's this one, I. And this is a circle. I think it's quite the same as the one that we did before. So it's x squared plus y squared equals r squared, which is 3, which is 9. So which one is the circle here? That one. X squared plus y squared equals 3 squared, which is 9. So that's G. Okay, I'm going to push this one up. And there you go. We got 4 of them now. So D is horizontal line, which will be, that is 5 in the y coordinate. So y equals 5. So which one has y equals 5? D. So I'm going to go D. That was easy. Now this one is exponential. Exponential. Now one that actually starts from the second quadrant to the first is a negative. It has a negative power. Okay, and but the constant or coefficient of the x to the power of negative is positive, because their y values are all positive. And this one, its power is positive because it starts from right to the left, which is first quadrant to the second quadrant. It starts from left to the right, so it's negative. So let's have a look. I've got these, this one and this one. It's exponential, and this one has a power of x, which is positive, power of negative x. So h goes here because it starts from left to right, so it's a negative power. And the right to left is a positive power, so I'm going to write f. So I'm going to cross that out so I don't get confused. And this one is a vertical line, which is going through x coordinates, so x equals 4. So which one has x equals 4? There you go, A. All right, so now next 3. Hopefully you can see. Yep. Okay, so this is a parabola, but it's concave down. All right, so what we've got left here is we've got 2 parabola here, but it has to be concave down, which means coefficient of x squared is negative. That's a positive. So maximum value is 1. So maximum value is that, which is y-intercept. So that's a C. Okay, done. Now this one is parabola, and minimum value is -4, which is y-intercept, and it's quite a bit narrow. Okay, so the gradient might be a bit high. One that we only got left is J. So I'm going to put J there, cross J out. And of course, the last one is, what is it? Linear function, straight line, but it goes to the left, so it's a negative gradient. Okay, negative gradient, and y-intercept is 1. All right, only thing left is B. Okay, just cross it out. All right, so next question, let's have a look. Again, it's a matching question, so I'm gonna have a look at that a little bit at a time. So push it up a little. So we got A, B, C, D. A is a parabola, cubic, cubic, hyperbola. Okay, now A is concave down, and it's got a what? Maximum value, which is y-intercept. So which one is actually the parabola? I've got, that's parabola. That's parabola. So these two, but it's concave down, which means coefficient of x squared has to be negative, and that looks positive, that looks negative. So I'm going to cross it out, put D there. Okay, now B is cubic and starts from right, goes to the left, which is like first and third. So cubic means like you're going to have a positive cubic. So which one is a cubic? B, C, E, F. Oh, there's a fair bit in there. So which one of these will belong here? Okay, it didn't really go up or down, isn't it? It just goes to 0, 0. So I wouldn't call that one as my one. Not this one, because it's gone down by 1. That's gone up by 1. And this one, it's actually moved to the right by 3, because x minus 3. So it hasn't really moved. It was in a 0, 0 in the center. So I will call that will be this one, F, because that's probably like plus 0, which is didn't go up or down. Now this one is a cubic again, but this time it starts from the left to the right, so it's a negative cubic. And we got these. Oh, that's obvious. So C will be the answer, but let's have a look again. Now it's gone up by 1, so that's gone up by 1, and it's negative, so it starts from left to right. So perfect. So that's C. And D is hyperbola, something over x. But this is a negative, because if it's a positive hyperbola, it'll go to the first quadrant and the third quadrant. They're facing each other. And this one is a negative, so it's a second and fourth. So which one's a hyperbola? I can see A and G are hyperbola, but the only difference is it's going to be negative and it's positive. As we worked it out, it starts from the left and facing to the right is negative. If it was a right to the left is positive. So this is negative. I'm going to matching up with A. Let's have a look at the last 4. I'm going to push this one up. Now again, this is what? Cubic, isn't it? But it starts from the right to the left, and it moved to the right by 3 units, yeah? Okay, so what we got left here? 2 cubics here. Which one actually has moved to the right by 3? Now this one, it has to go whole cubic graph have to bring down to -1. It hasn't. It's still on the x-axis, so it didn't go down, so it has to be B. F is hyperbola, and it's right facing the left, which is first quadrant facing the third, the mirror image. So reflecting, and has to be positive, so it's a G. And G is parabola, but it moved to the left by 4 units. Okay, moved to the left by 4 units. Now which is parabola? That's cubic, that's parabola. And that means this one is x plus 4 equals 0, x equals -4, which we got here, and it means move to the left by 4. So that's H here. And obviously that's cubic, whatever it's left, it is. But let's check. Now, this one says whole cubic graph is gone down by 1, which this is, looks like it's brought it down by 1. It's a -1 here, right there. And if you want, you can put x equals 2 here, and you will get y value 3. So that's perfect one. There you go. So think about what kind of equation the graph is representing, and find it And you need to really understand the characteristics of each graph